Okay, picture this. Imagine a bank that credits your account every single morning with exactly $86,400. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. It doesn't carry over a balance. Any amount you don't spend today, it's deleted from your account forever. So what would you do? You draw out every single penny. Well, you actually already have this bank. It's called time. Every morning, it credits you with 86,400 seconds. And if you fail to make full use of the day's deposit, well, you lose what you don't use. Welcome to this explainer on mastering your time, where we're going to build a professional survival toolkit to help you invest those precious seconds wisely. In today's explainer, we're embarking on a mastery journey to unlock some incredibly powerful tools. We'll be walking through 1. The priority playbook. 2. Beating the procrastination trap. 3. The art of delegation. 4. Hacking your biological clock. And finally, 5. Taking back your time. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the priority playbook. Prioritization is literally the immediate cure to that modern feeling of just drowning in tasks and information. We've got to get our ducks in a row. To tame all that chaos, we need a system, and the granddaddy of them all is the ABC priority system. It essentially forces us to strip away the emotional dread we have about certain work and categorize our tasks ruthlessly. A tasks, those are your absolute must-dos. They're immediate, nailing them yields extraordinary results, but leaving them undone, you're looking at disastrous consequences. Then you have B tasks, things you should do pretty soon, like replying to non-urgent emails. Important? Sure, but you have a little breathing room. C tasks, like organizing your digital files, can be put off without the world ending. And D tasks, those are completely optional, just nice things to tackle if you magically find the time. The whole beauty of this framework is that it instantly clarifies what actually matters right in this very moment. And when you start categorizing tasks like this, you run into this amazing mathematical phenomenon, the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. It basically shows us that focusing on the critical 20% of your workload, those vital A tasks, actually generates 80% of your overall value and results. Think about it for a second. 80% of a company's sales usually come from just 20% of its clients. Heck, you probably wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. Real productivity comes from targeting that critical 20% and just ruthlessly minimizing everything else. It's not about doing more things, it's about doing the right things. Moving right along to Section 2, beating the procrastination trap. Because let's be real, even with perfectly categorized tasks and a solid grasp of the 80-20 rule, our own brains can still completely sabotage our day. It's time to master the mind. Look, psychologists will be the first to tell you that procrastination isn't just laziness. It is almost always rooted in some hidden fear or psychological conflict. There are generally 8 root causes. Now, avoiding unpleasant tasks, the dreaded expense report, is the most common excuse we give. But it's often the deeper issues holding us back. We put things off because tasks feel totally overwhelming, or the workflow is so unclear we literally don't know the next step. Maybe we lack clear goals entirely. Sometimes we overcommit, saying yes until our own schedule paralyzes us. Or maybe you're addicted to cramming because you falsely believe you need last-minute pressure to perform well. But so often, it simply comes down to a profound fear of change, or a fear of failure, just whispering to your subconscious to delay action. I want you to actively reflect on your own habits for a second. Which of those 8 factors is holding you back right now? What is your personal trap? Are your goals fuzzy? Do you secretly fear that making a change is going to disrupt your safety net? Identifying your specific, unique root cause is absolutely crucial. It's the first step to bypassing the procrastination trap altogether. You've got to name it to conquer it. FDR famously hit the nail on the head when he said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." A fear of failure causes so many professionals to put things off indefinitely. Even simple things. Public speaking is statistically feared more than death itself. No joke. But if you acknowledge that fear, if you break your overwhelming tasks down into actionable, step-by-step pieces, you can eliminate that barrier. You map out exactly what needs to be done, step by step, and remove the ambiguity that feeds the fear. Okay, Section 3, the art of delegation. We're shifting gears here from individual productivity to multiplying your output. Let's see how mastering your mind builds into mastering your team, so you can finally buy back your time. A lot of managers think delegation is just barking a one-off command and walking away. It's not. It's an entire 12-step life cycle broken into 4 distinct phases. It starts with preparation, identifying the exact task, charting the flow, and finding the right person. Then, the assignment phase. You don't just dump the work on them, you explain the assignment, highlight the benefits of taking it on, and lay out your exact standards. From there, we move to active monitoring, discussing deadlines, setting up reporting, and really encouraging questions. And finally, the review phase, where you summarize the work, do status checks, and this is key, evaluate and praise them once it's done. Let's zoom in on a few really critical actions from that life cycle. First up, finding the right person. That doesn't just mean reading their current job title. Actually, the janitor might be the absolute best person to lead a safety committee. Why? Because they walk every hall and spot every hazard daily. Look for unique talents. Second, when assigning the task, focus on the what's in it for me, the WIFM. Explaining how a task helps someone gain visibility totally diffuses that dreaded not my job resistance. And lastly, specify your standards up front. If you keep your high expectations a secret, you can't be surprised when the results fall flat, right? Section 4. Hacking your biological clock. We've mastered the tasks, the mind, the team. Now let's talk about the body. It is time to stop fighting our natural rhythms and strategically tackle that brutal midday slump. There is an entire science dedicated to this called chronobiology. It studies how our body's internal systems, things like brain chemistry, blood sugar levels, and sleep patterns, relate to time. The massive takeaway here is that fighting your biological clock is just a complete waste of energy. You can't just power through on 4 cups of coffee at 3 p.m. when your biology is actively screaming at you to rest. Instead, you've got to align your workday with your natural peaks and troughs. So think about scheduling your day around this chronobiology. During your peak alertness, which for a lot of folks is the morning, that is when you do the heavy lifting. Strategy, financials, creative writing. But when you hit that inevitable sluggish trough in the mid-afternoon, switch gears. That's the time for short chores, repetitive tasks, maybe stuff that requires physical movement to keep you awake. Ask yourself right now, are you doing C-level repetitive chores during your A-level energy peaks? If so, you're severely shortchanging your own potential. Guard those peak hours fiercely. And finally, Section 5, taking back your time. Let's bring this all together. By combining the physical science of chronobiology, the psychological tools to beat procrastination, and the tactical frameworks of the ABC system and proper delegation, you've built a truly actionable survival toolkit. It all comes right back to that daily bank deposit. Time is the ultimate finite resource. You can save money, sure, but you cannot save time for a rainy day. You can only invest it in the present moment. So, armed with your new priority playbook, a clearer mind, an empowered team, and an optimized biological clock, I want to leave you with this one vital question. If you lose what you don't use, how exactly are you going to invest your next 86,400 seconds? Get out there and make them count.